Soft thunder rolls across the sky. It is low, steady, like the heartbeat of the heavens. The wind drifts gently, carrying the echo of something ancient. Long ago, before time was counted in days and nights, Olympus stood. It was the crown of the heavens, home of the gods, bright and eternal. From his golden throne, Zeus watched all creation. He was king of the skies, mighty and unshaken. Yet even kings cannot silence the whisper of wonder. For many nights, Zeus felt a stirring in his heart. The constellations flickered strangely, as if hiding secrets. They seemed to trace hidden paths across the dark. A question rose within him. Could there be more beyond the heavens? Beyond Olympus? Beyond even the reach of gods? This is not a tale of storms or battles. It is not about wrath or conquest. It is a journey of discovery. A journey toward unseen doors, toward mysteries waiting at the edge of eternity. This is the story of Zeus and the celestial gates. The silence of the sky is different. It is vast, endless, carrying questions with no voice. That silence reached Zeus, high upon Olympus. He stood where clouds wrapped the mountain like silver. Below, the earth glowed with mortal fires. Above, the heavens stretched without end. The beauty was real. The order was perfect. Yet to Zeus, something was missing. His thunderbolt rested unused at his side. The throne, though golden, gave him no peace. His eyes lingered on the constellations, night after night. They sparkled, but strangely. At times, they seemed to shift, just slightly, like dancers moving out of rhythm. Mortals would never notice. Even the other gods did not see it. But Zeus felt it deeply, an invitation written in light. One evening, as the sun sank low, he spoke aloud. "Why do you flicker so, children of night? What secret do you hold from me?" The peaks carried his voice into the wind. The stars offered no answer, but silence pressed closer, urging him to look again. He remembered the fates. They once spoke of unseen threads. Even gods, they said, are drawn toward mystery. What stirred within him was not only curiosity, it was longing. For all his power, Zeus knew he was not complete. The sky was vast, yet never enough. Beyond Olympus, he sensed something greater, always beyond. Night after night, he walked alone on the heights. He studied the constellations until dawn returned, and between the patterns, he saw hidden paths. Restlessness grew within him, not anger, but yearning. The stars no longer felt distant, they felt alive. They whispered without sound. They promised the universe was not finished. It was a door waiting to be opened. One night, the moon rose full and silver. Its glow spilled across Olympus like water. Zeus lifted his eyes, and the stars flared bright. For the first time, Zeus felt small, not weak, but humbled. The heavens did not bow, they called. In their call, he sensed a journey beginning. "If there are gates among the stars," he whispered, "I will find them, not with power, but with wonder." The wind stirred, carrying his vow upward. The silence deepened, as if listening. The restless sky had spoken in mystery. Zeus could not ignore its call, and the journey to the celestial gates had begun. Every question has an answer. Not every answer is spoken in words. Some are woven, thread by thread, by those who see beyond gods and mortals. The Moirai, the Fates, three sisters older than Olympus itself. Clotho spins the thread of life. Lachesis measures its length. Atropos cuts when the time is complete. Few seek them, for their truths are not gentle. They speak not of glory, but of inevitability. Yet when silence pressed upon Zeus, he knew where to go. He left Olympus and walked into the mortal lands. The stars shimmered as if watching his steps. Past rivers, past valleys, he reached a cavern of destiny. Inside, the air shimmered, heavy with unseen order. Threads stretched in every color, vanishing into darkness. Some fragile, some bright, all connected in hidden patterns. Clotho spun the spindle, steady as the heartbeat of time. Lachesis measured in silence, her eyes far away. Atropos waited, her shears glinting in dim light. When Zeus entered, The loom slowed. The sisters looked at him as if they had expected him. "Why have you come, Lord of the Sky?" Lachesis asked. "I seek to know what lies beyond," said Zeus. The stars whisper. "Tell me what they hide." Clotho kept spinning. "They hide nothing," she said. "They reveal." Atropos clicked her shears. "But not to all. Only to seekers." Zeus frowned. "Am I not ruler of the skies? Shall I not know?" The sisters' voices rose together, weaving like one. To seek the hidden is not to command it. To walk beyond Olympus is to surrender. There are gates in the heavens, radiant and threefold. They do not open to power, they open to truth. Silence returned. Only the loom whispered softly. Zeus stood still, hearing the weight of their words. "Where shall I find them?" he asked. Clotho looked into her thread. "Not with your eyes." Lachesis stilled her measure. "Not with your throne." Atropos raised her shears. "They appear when you walk humbly, as a seeker." Zeus bowed his head. "Not in defeat, but in understanding." The sisters returned to their endless weaving. Threads brushed him, whispering futures yet unborn. As he left, Clotho's voice followed. "The stars will guide you. Follow their song." Outside, the constellations shone brighter than before. The Moirai gave no map, no command, only truth. The journey would not be of power, but of surrender. With the whisper of the fates in his heart, Zeus returned. The restless sky no longer burdened him. It beckoned like a door, waiting to be opened. Zeus returned to Olympus with the whisper of the fates heavy in his heart. The palaces gleamed under moonlight, silver halls rising from clouds. The gods slept in peace, but one pair of eyes remained awake. Hera, queen of Olympus, watched him with steady gaze. She had long known his restlessness. No storm could hide it from her. When he entered the hall, she rose. "You have wandered far, my husband," she said. "The stars cling to you as though you brought them back. Tell me, what did you find?" Zeus lifted his eyes to the sky above the open roof. "I sought the Moirai," he said. "They spoke of gates. Gates of truth, not power. They told me I must walk not as a king, but as a seeker." Hera stepped closer, her robe trailing softly across marble. "Do you believe them?" she asked. "I do," said Zeus. "The stars call me. I can no longer turn away." For a long moment, Hera was silent. She had walked beside him through triumph and turmoil. She knew his pride and his longing. "Curiosity is a dangerous tide," she said. "It can carry you to new shores or drown you in storms. You are ruler of the skies. Olympus depends on you. Do not chase whispers." Her words were firm, yet her eyes softened. "You have always reached beyond others," she continued. "Perhaps that is why you became king. But wisdom does not come from thunder. It comes from balance, from listening." "Zeus meterchase." "I will not abandon Olympus," he promised. "But I cannot ignore this path. If gates wait among the stars, I must see them. Not to claim them, but to understand." Hera searched his face. Then she placed her hand on his arm. "Then go," she said. "But not alone. Even gods falter on unknown roads." Zeus inclined his head. "I will seek companions," he said. "Hermes, quick of mind. Athena, born of thought. Apollo, radiant with harmony. They will walk beside me." Hera's eyes softened further, though her voice carried caution. "The gates may not test your power. They will test your heart. Do not lose yourself in the wonder you seek." Zeus bowed his head. Her counsel was a gift. That night, he stood beneath the stars once more. The restlessness in his chest had changed. No longer a storm, but a journey waiting to begin. With wisdom, with balance, with companions. The whisper of the fates was joined by the voice of the queen. Together, they formed the harmony that would guide Zeus toward the celestial gates. The morning sun rose gently over Olympus, painting its halls in gold. The mountains sang with voices of gods, muses, and harps. Yet Zeus did not join their joy. His mind had set its course. Hera's words echoed, "No god should walk the unknown path alone." So Zeus descended from his throne to seek one swift of step and keen of mind. Hermes, the messenger, sat at Olympus's edge, lacing golden sandals. His caduceus lay beside him, Twin serpents curled in calm harmony. "Father," Hermes said, eyes bright with curiosity. The winds whisper. "They say you sought the Moirai, that you now chase gates not opened by thunder." Zeus smiled faintly. Hermes always heard what others missed. "It is true. The fates spoke of gates beyond the constellations, gates of truth, not conquest. I cannot walk this path as king, but as seeker." Hermes tilted his head, a grin tugging at his lips. "Then you chose wisely. Every seeker needs a guide. Every road needs one who knows how to travel. Will you walk beside me, Hermes? Not as messenger, not as servant, but as companion." Hermes' grin deepened, loyalty shining in his eyes. "To walk beside you is to dance with mystery, and mystery is my home." "Yes, father, I will go." Zeus placed a hand on his son's shoulder, not as command, but kinship. Together they gazed at the dawn. Sky brushed with fire and rose. Hermes broke the silence. "If gates are truths, then each step is a riddle. Power may not serve you, but patience will. Listening will. That is where I guide you best." Zeus nodded. Hera had spoken of balance. Now Hermes, too. Perhaps the gates had already begun shaping his journey. They walked the gardens of Olympus. Hermes pointed to constellations overhead. "Every star is a map, father. Each is a frozen story. Hunters, lovers, beasts. They show not where to go, but how to see." Zeus listened. For all his dominion, he had never read the sky this way. "You will be my reader," Zeus said. "The stars may test my heart, but you will give me their language." Hermes laughed softly. "Then we are bound for adventure, and adventure is sweeter when shared." At the fountain of Mnemosyne, water sang with memory. There Zeus grew solemn. "There will be trials, Hermes, not of power, but of spirit. If thunder fails me, I will lean on your cunning. Do not let me stray." Hermes touched his caduceus to the ground. The serpents coiled tighter, sealing a vow. "I will not let you stray. I am your voice when silence falls, your map when shadows hide the path." We faced the gates together. The fountain shimmered, as if blessing their bond. Zeus stood taller, fire rekindled in his eyes. "One companion now walks beside me. Soon we will call others. Athena for wisdom, Apollo for light. But you, Hermes, are the first." Hermes bowed playfully, reverence hidden in the curve of his smile. "Then let us begin, father. The stars wait. Gates do not linger forever." Beneath the rising sun, with Olympus's winds whispering around them, the king of the heavens and his swift-footed son took their first steps. Steps that would lead beyond constellations, toward the celestial gates. The sun stretched across Olympus, painting its halls in gold. Zeus walked with Hermes at his side, steps steady, yet unhurried. Their bond was sealed, but the company was not complete. Hermes had sworn his cunning, but wisdom burned elsewhere. So Zeus turned his eyes toward Athena's Parthenon. Athena, goddess of wisdom, of justice, of strategy without blood. She had sprung from his mind, a daughter of thought itself. In council, she stood as his equal. As they neared, Hermes whispered with a grin, "She will not be swayed by thunder, father. Speak as seeker, not king." Zeus nodded. The gates demanded humility, even in asking. Columns rose high, carved with owls and olive branches. Inside, Athena sat upon a marble throne. Her spear rested near, her shield leaning against the wall. No jewels adorned her, only the dignity of thought. Her gray eyes lifted as Zeus entered. "Father," she said calmly, "you come not as king. What do you seek?" Zeus drew a deep breath. "I sought the Moirai. They spoke of 3 gates beyond constellations. They told me the path is not conquest, but truth. Hermes has pledged his guidance, but wisdom must also walk with me." Athena was silent, gaze sharp and steady. Her eyes flickered toward Hermes, who only grinned. "The gates," she said at last, "open not to strength, but to understanding. To those who see patterns where others see only stars. Tell me, father, why do you seek them?" The question struck like a spear of clarity. Why indeed? He had ruled, commanded thunder, held the skies. He closed his eyes, then spoke softly. "Because power is not enough. Thunder roars but gives no answers. The heavens call to me still. If the gates hold truth, I must know it, not to bind it, but to understand. Athena's expression softened. She rose, leaving her spear behind. If that is your answer, then I will walk with you. Truth bends not to pride. It demands patience, stillness, courage to face within as well as beyond. Hermes nodded eagerly. Patience and riddles, father. This journey will be weaving, not storm. Zeus inclined his head with gratitude. Walk with me, Athena. Guide my sight when clouds obscure it. Remind me of balance when pride rises. With you, our company grows stronger. Athena's lips curved faintly. Then it is decided. I will go. Not as daughter, not as subject, but as companion. Together we will seek the truth beyond the stars. They stood beneath the open roof of the temple. The sky shifted from gold to violet, twilight wrapping the mountain. The first star shimmered faintly, as if listening. Hermes lifted his caduceus with a grin. 2 companions now. Soon Apollo will join. Then the harmony will be whole. Athena's eyes steadied him, though warmth glimmered within. Every harmony needs measure, Hermes. Do not rush the song before it is written. Zeus looked to them both, and his heart felt lighter. With Hermes as guide and Athena as wisdom, the path was clear. The journey toward the celestial gates had begun. Above them, constellations shone brighter, as if welcoming their sacred company. The morning came bright upon Olympus. Zeus, Hermes, and Athena walked together through halls of marble. Their company had grown, but harmony was not yet complete. Hermes spoke lightly, but Athena reminded them of measure. Zeus knew the journey needed balance, not only wit and wisdom. It needed music, light, the voice that could calm the storm. So their steps turned toward Apollo's temple of song. The air itself seemed to shimmer with unseen strings. Notes of a lyre drifted gently through the golden columns. Apollo was there, radiant, his hair glowing like sunlight. He strummed with ease, each chord carrying clarity and calm. Father, Apollo greeted, his voice like silver rivers. You come not for praise, but for purpose. Speak. Zeus bowed his head slightly. We seek the celestial gates. The Moirai whispered of them. Hermes guides. Athena counsels. But harmony requires your voice. Apollo's eyes gleamed as he listened. He plucked the strings, letting silence bloom between notes. The gates, he said slowly, will not answer thunder alone. They open to those who can hear the rhythm of stars. The cosmos is music, Father. Each planet, each constellation, a chord. Do you seek to command it, or to join its song? The question hung in the air, piercing yet tender. Zeus took a breath. To join, he answered simply. For what is power without harmony? Apollo's smile spread like dawn breaking. Then I will walk with you, not as sun, not as minstrel, but as voice of the heavens. Hermes laughed with delight, twirling his staff. Now we have rhythm for the road. This journey begins to sound sweet. Athena's gaze softened, though her tone stayed firm. Sweetness must not distract from truth. Harmony without reason drifts into illusion. Apollo only strummed, weaving a melody between her words. Reason and rhythm together, he said. Balance the soul. Zeus looked at his 3 companions and felt a stirring of hope. Strength had brought him far, but here wisdom, wit, and song walked beside him. The temple filled with light as Apollo rose. He carried his lyre as gently as one might carry flame. The notes followed him like whispers of dawn. Outside, the sky deepened to sapphire blue. The constellations glimmered faintly, waiting, listening. 4 figures now stood upon Olympus. Their voices were different, yet together they wove a single harmony. The path to the celestial gates drew nearer, and the stars themselves seemed to sing in reply. The sea stretched wide beyond Olympus, endless and restless. Zeus, Hermes, Athena, and Apollo stood at its edge. The waves rose and fell like the breath of the earth itself. They had wisdom, wit, and song, but they needed the sea. For beyond the stars lay waters unknown, currents untamed, and none could guide such waters better than Poseidon. The ocean stirred, sensing their presence. Foam gathered, and a figure rose from the tide. Poseidon, Lord of the deep, with eyes like stormlit horizons. He carried his trident, not as weapon, but as anchor of his will. Brother, Poseidon's voice rumbled like distant surf. You come not for quarrel, but for quest. Speak your truth. Zeus met his gaze, steady as the horizon. We seek the celestial gates, to walk where truth hides, to learn, not to conquer. Poseidon's eyes narrowed, waves swirling at his feet. The sea does not bend to pride, Zeus. It swallows those who forget their place. Hermes spoke quickly, voice bright as gulls. We seek not to rule the tide, only to cross it with reverence. Athena added calmly, without the sea, no path is whole. Without humility, no gate will open. Apollo strummed his lyre, notes dancing with the spray. Even the sea has song. Will you join the harmony, uncle? Poseidon's sternness softened, though his tide still roared. You would ask the sea to walk beside the sky? Zeus answered with quiet strength. I ask my brother, not to follow, not to lead, but to join. The waves stilled, just for a breath. Then Poseidon planted his trident in the surf. Then I will go, not as lord of the sea, but as tide eternal, the current that carries all journeys. The ocean surged, not in wrath, but in welcome. Spray glistened like stars upon the shore. Hermes laughed, skipping over the waves. A guide, a mind, a song, and now the tide. The company grows. Athena's eyes shone with quiet approval. Apollo's chords blended with the rhythm of the surf. Zeus felt the company complete, yet still the journey loomed ahead. 4 companions now walked with him, each a pillar of truth. The sea whispered its endless song at their backs. The constellations above shimmered brighter still. The path to the celestial gates drew closer, carried on both wind and tide. The journey had gathered strength, but the company was not complete. They had wit, wisdom, song, and tide. But something was missing. It was warmth, the quiet fire that made all journeys worth walking. So they turned to Hestia, goddess of the hearth, keeper of flame. Her temple was not vast, nor radiant, nor thunderous. It was small, simple, yet its flame never dimmed. When they entered, she sat by the fire, waiting. Her eyes glowed softly, reflecting the eternal flame. Brother, she said gently, what is a journey without rest? What is discovery without the flame to return to? Zeus bowed his head, voice steady. The Moirai spoke of gates. We seek them, yet know we are not complete. Hermes leaned forward, eager. Every traveler needs a hearth. Without warmth, the road grows cold. Athena spoke calmly. Without flame, wisdom cannot kindle thought. Apollo strummed softly. Without flame, music loses its heart. Poseidon's deep voice rumbled. Even the sea longs for shore, for a fire on the sand at night. Hestia smiled, serene, listening. You have strength, but strength is not enough. The gates open to those who carry flame within. Not flame to burn, but flame to keep. Zeus lifted his gaze, eyes meeting hers. Then, will you walk with us, Hestia? Her voice was steady, calm as the flame. Yes, but know this. My place is at the heart, not the front. The flame does not march. It waits. It welcomes. It endures. The companions grew silent at her words. Hermes bowed lightly. Then we shall carry your warmth wherever the road bends. Athena inclined her head. Your flame will remind us of balance. Apollo strummed a lingering note. Your light will steady the song. Poseidon lowered his trident with respect. And even the sea will honor your fire. Zeus spoke with quiet strength. Come with us, sister. For without flame, the sky itself grows cold. Hestia rose, her fire following like a gentle breath of dawn. She carried no spear, no crown, only the flame. And yet, it was enough. The flame did not scorch or blind. It warmed, steadied, and promised return. Even in the farthest stars, together, the 6 stood in silence by the fire. Outside, the constellations shifted, weaving brighter pattern. The company was whole at last. Guide, wisdom, song, tide, flame, and thunder. Not to conquer the gates, But to meet them, Zeus looked to his companions and felt no burden. The thunder within him softened into harmony. The road stretched beyond the heavens, yet felt less daunting. For even among the stars, they carried the fire of home. And the fire of home never dies. The six companions walked far beyond Olympus, beyond the reach of mortal prayers. The road beneath them was no longer stone or sky. It was woven from starlight, shimmering under their steps. Each footfall rippled across constellations like whispers of guidance. Hermes walked ahead, his sandals trailing silver light. "We are close," he whispered, reverent and sure. Athena studied the shifting stars, eyes sharp. "The patterns guide us. We follow, not lead," she said. Apollo strummed his lyre, notes rising like dawn. The music drifted outward and returned as echoes of stars. Poseidon felt the resonance ripple through the cosmos. "The heavens are listening," he murmured. Then the path widened into a vast expanse. At its heart stood the celestial gates. They were not bronze, nor silver, nor gold. They shimmered with pure light, two arcs of dawn and dusk. The gates pulsed with rhythm, alive with a heartbeat of eternity. Zeus stood still, thunder silent within him. "So this is it," he whispered. Hestia stepped forward, her flame flickering gently. The gates leaned toward her warmth, as if recognizing kin. Hermes tilted his head, listening deeply. "They are not locked," he said. Athena's gaze deepened. "They are questions to be answered, not doors to force." Apollo's strings glowed softly. "Then let the answer be harmony," he whispered. Poseidon raised his hand, the tides pulsing within. "And balance," he said firmly. Zeus looked at them, voice steady. "Together, not to rule, but to belong." They formed a circle before the gates. Hestia placed her flame at the center. Hermes whispered a prayer for travelers. Athena spoke words of wisdom. Apollo sang, his melody threading the silence. Poseidon added the rhythm of tides. Zeus lifted his hands. Thunder softened into harmony. The gates responded, light flowing across their arcs. Constellations above shifted, aligning with their song. The heartbeat of the gates grew stronger, not in sound, but in presence, felt in their very bones. Then the gates unfolded like a horizon lifting. Beyond was no throne or treasure, only a boundless expanse of living light. Every star shimmered with a voice. Every constellation was a verse in a greater song. Hermes bowed his head. "This is the map of all journeys," he said. Athena's eyes softened. "This is wisdom beyond words." Apollo strummed, voice trembling. "This is the song that holds all songs." Poseidon closed his eyes. "This is the ocean without shore." Hestia's flame burned steady. "This is the hearth of all creation." Zeus stepped forward, no longer as king. "This is not power to take," he whispered. "It is wonder to share." The gates did not close. They dissolved into the endless light. The six companions stood in awe. They understood the truth. They had not come to conquer. They had come to awaken. The celestial gates were not an end. They were a reminder that even the divine must bow to wonder, that all journeys return, in the end, to light. The light beyond the celestial gates was not an end. It was a beginning. The six companions stood at its threshold, awed by what stretched before them. It was not a place for rulers or conquerors. It was a realm of possibility. Every star was a question, every constellation an invitation. Hermes leaned forward, eyes full of galaxies. "There are paths upon paths," he murmured. "Each star seems to call me by name." Athena touched his shoulder gently. "They call to all of us," she said. "But the question is not who calls. It is whether we are ready to answer." Apollo strummed his lyre softly. "The song here is unfinished," he whispered. "It waits for voices to join it. But whose will rise?" Poseidon gazed deeply into the endless expanse. "I feel currents even here," he said. "Tides that pull toward unseen shores. They do not drag. They invite." Hestia's flame flickered warmly. "The gates reveal no treasure," she said. "They offer a choice. What will you carry, and what will you leave?" Zeus remained silent, thunder quiet inside him. At last he spoke. "All my life I have ruled, commanded, fought. But here, none of it matters." Athena's calm eyes met his. "The choice is not what we take. It is how we walk forward." Hermes smiled faintly, starlight dancing in his gaze. No map guides us here, but maybe that is beauty. To walk without knowing, yet not alone. Apollo pressed his lyre to his chest. Let our song be of wonder, not conquest. Poseidon's voice rumbled softly. Let the sea within us flow in harmony, not against. Hestia's flame glowed brighter. Let the fire remind us of home. Not a place, but a bond. The gates washed them in light. The choice was not power, it was presence. To step forward not as gods above, but as voices among the stars. Zeus lowered his hand. No crown, no thunder, he said. Only this. We walk forward together. The gates pulsed brighter, as if listening. One by one they stepped through. Hermes, laughing softly at the thrill of the unknown. Athena, her eyes alight with clarity. Apollo, humming melody under his breath. Poseidon, steady as the eternal tide. Hestia, her flame glowing like a star in her hands. And Zeus, no longer only king, but seeker among seekers. The light did not consume them, it welcomed them. The stars shifted, opening wider. The gates gave no answers. They gave freedom, the freedom to choose how to walk. Together, they stepped into the infinite, not as conquerors, not as rulers, but as companions carrying wisdom, song, tide, flame, and wonder. Together, they belonged to the infinite. And in their choice, the heavens sang. Beyond the celestial gates, the companions stepped into a realm of sound. It was not sky, nor sea, nor land. It was vast, endless, and alive. The cosmos sang. Every star hummed its own note. Every constellation was a chord woven across eternity. Galaxies turned like harps, strings vibrating with resonance, and deep within, a rhythm pulsed, steady and eternal. Apollo whispered first. This is the music I have sought all my life, the song behind all songs. Hermes tilted his head, stilled for once. It is more than melody. It is movement. Every path I've walked has been part of this rhythm. Athena's gaze softened in awe. Wisdom is but fragments of this truth. Every thought, every answer threads in this song. Poseidon closed his eyes, tides rolling within him. I feel the ocean here. Waves rise and fall, returning again. The sea was only its echo. Hestia's flame flickered bright and steady. This song carries warmth, not fire to burn, but fire to connect. The hearth of creation itself. Zeus stood silent, thunder quiet inside him. He listened, and knew his lightning was only an echo of this harmony. The companions stood together, hearing the song each in their way. And yet, it did not overwhelm them. It invited. Apollo raised his lyre, hands trembling. I must join, but my song feels too small. Hestia's flame steadied his hand. Every note matters. The song is not diminished by you. It is made whole. Apollo strummed a single note. It drifted outward, caught by unseen threads, and blended with the cosmic melody. The stars shimmered brighter. Hermes laughed with joy. Then let me add my step. He tapped his staff on the starlit ground, each beat falling in rhythm. The pathways of light rippled outward, weaving patterns. Athena lifted her hand, words forming like constellations. Her voice resonated, each syllable a spark of thought woven into the melody. Poseidon spread his arms, his tides swelling. A rhythm deep and steady joined the song. Hestia placed her flame at the center of their circle. It bound their voices together, glowing like the heart of the cosmos. Finally, Zeus stepped forward. No thunder, no lightning. He exhaled a hum low, steady, like a storm at rest. The song welcomed it, not as command, but as harmony. Together, their voices joined the cosmos. 6 gods, once divided, now woven into the infinite song. The universe shifted around them. Stars aligned into brighter patterns. Galaxies turned in new rhythm. The song grew richer, not because they led it, but because they belonged. Hermes whispered in awe, we are part of it. Every god, every mortal, every star notes in this endless song. Athena's eyes glowed with clarity. This is wisdom not to hold, but to live. Apollo trembled with joy. This is music beyond silence, beyond time. Poseidon's voice softened. This is the sea without shore, Hestia whispered, her flame steady. This is the hearth of creation. Zeus lifted his eyes, humbled. This is what it means to be. Not to rule, not to conquer, but to belong. The cosmos did not answer with words. It sang. And in its song, the six found themselves not at the center, but as part of the whole. For the first time in eternity, Olympus was silent, because the gods had joined the chorus of the stars. The light of the celestial gate slowly faded behind the companions. But its song remained within them. It was not something they carried in their hands, nor in their crowns, nor in their powers. It lived inside their hearts. Zeus turned once, looking back. The gates shimmered faintly, as though bowing farewell. For the first time, Zeus did not feel the urge to close them, nor to guard them as treasure. He understood now they were never meant to be kept, but to be remembered. Hermes skipped ahead, his laughter echoing across the star-strewn expanse. Do you feel it? Every step is lighter. It's as though the roads of the world are no longer tangled. His staff tapped the ground, drawing lines of light that stretched outward, forming paths to distant realms. Athena walked with quiet grace, her gaze lifted to the constellations above. Knowledge was never meant to be hoarded, she said softly. It is meant to be shared. The song teaches us that wisdom grows when it is sung, not stored. Apollo strummed his lyre, and the melody leapt into the air, joining the echoes of the cosmic song. The song has no end, he whispered, and now, neither does mine. It will flow through every voice that dares to sing. Poseidon's steps resonated like waves, steady and eternal. The sea was always restless, always searching. Now I know why. It longed to find its place in the song. And now, it has. Hestia's flame glowed softly in her hands. She held it not as a weapon, nor as a symbol, but as a gift. The hearth of creation is not bound to one place. Wherever we carry warmth, we carry the song. That is its legacy. Together, they moved forward. Not towards conquest, not toward rule, but toward sharing the harmony they had found. When they returned to Olympus, the other gods gathered around them. Eyes wide, voices hushed. They looked upon their kin with wonder. Something had changed in Zeus and his companions, something that words could not describe. Hera was the first to speak. What have you seen beyond the gates? She asked. Her voice carried both curiosity and caution. Zeus looked to his companions, then back to the gathered gods. We have seen not power, nor treasure, nor glory, he said. We have seen belonging, a song that holds all things together. The gods murmured among themselves, some doubtful, some intrigued. Hermes stepped forward, his smile playful, yet sincere. It is not a song only for gods. It is for all. Mortals, spirits, rivers, stars. Every voice belongs. Athena raised her hand, silencing the murmurs. Wisdom is not found in dominance, she declared. It is found in harmony. If we forget this, the song will fade within us. Apollo's music swelled, notes weaving around the assembly. Do you hear it? Even now the cosmos waits for us to join, not as rulers, as companions. Poseidon's voice rumbled like distant surf. The seas will no longer rage in isolation. They will carry this truth to every shore. Hestia stepped into the center, her flame glowing brightly. Let us begin here, she said gently. Let Olympus itself become a hearth, not a throne. The gods fell silent, and slowly, one by one, they listened. From that day forward, Olympus was no longer only a seat of power. It became a place where the divine gathered not to dictate, but to share. The flame of Hestia warmed their halls. The wisdom of Athena guided their debates. The song of Apollo lifted their spirits. The laughter of Hermes carried them forward. The tides of Poseidon grounded their strength, and the humility of Zeus held them together. The legacy of the gates was not written in stone, nor etched in the stars. It lived in every act of kindness, every note of music, every spark of thought, every flame of home. It lived in the way gods and mortals alike chose to walk forward together. And though the celestial gates remained distant, shimmering on the horizon of eternity, their song was never lost. For in the heart of every voice, From the smallest whisper to the mightiest roar, the melody endured. The cosmos sang, and now so did they.